Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, on 60 Minutes to Lose, we are playing Joust, the NES version, developed by HAL Laboratory, published by HAL America. You can see it's got the Williams little thing on there. That is because this is one of the OG arcade games, too. Well, not one of the, like, super original arcade games, but it's an older one, you know, and Williams, of course, pretty much owns all of those. Now, I did mention that you had seen, of course, Balloon Fight. What did I mean by that? Why was that relevant? Well, if you've never played Joust before, take a look, man. It's Balloon Fight. Except I should say Balloon Fight is Joust, because Joust, you know, Joust came out before Balloon Fight. And I'm real bad at Joust, unfortunately. It's as a game, it's a little more slippery than Balloon Fight, which does make it, of course, a tad more difficult. I should say, it requires higher levels of mastery. It's got kind of a weird movement system where you gotta hold the... let me restart this sentence, because this is gonna make more sense. Right and left don't just, like, straight up move you right and left. They more, like, accelerate and decelerate you on the ground. Like, I can let go of the joystick and I'll just keep running, or I'll be running faster. Now, additionally, if I am remembering correctly, I don't believe that Joust quite has the level layout diversity that Balloon Fight does either. Oh, look at that! Look at that! The hands from the lava are working against mine enemies. This is a perfectly neutral arena that we're fighting in here. However, that thing is gonna give me issues. I think you can destroy the pterodactyl things, but it requires a lot of finesse. I think you gotta, like, smack him on the nose with your lance. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Don't grab me here. So already I'm down to 0 lives, and I've accomplished very little, for being honest. You want to get the eggs, because from the eggs hatch, as does happen in the real world, men. And the men will be picked up by new ostriches who will be like, hey, yo, let's be successful together. And you'll tell them, no. Unfortunately, I have game over. Because I am bad at Joust. So, yes, immediately right away, this is one of those NES games that is literally just an arcade port. It's not a purpose-built game specifically for the NES. It's not a game that shows off what the NES as a piece of hardware can really do. I mean, I guess it does. It says, hey, guess what? You can play arcade games. Which, for a lot of people, I know would have been pretty pog back in the day, but... for the intents of this particular series... shoot. I wouldn't call it, you know, the pinnacle. For what I assume are obvious reasons. Oh, check out, we just bounced right off the wall. I'm doing awfully this run here. That's okay. We'll see if I manage to improve any at this game, because I have historically been not very good at Joust. I have actually played the original NES cartridge as well. My uncle had an NES that we would play whenever we were over, and Joust was one of the games that he had for it, so... I do have some familiarity with this version, and I'm just, you know, I'm not any good at it. Which is painfully obvious right now. Didn't even make it to wave 4 that time. I think we've actually regressed. That's okay. You need to regress before you can progress. It's all about not getting too much momentum in the wrong direction. It's also about not dying like that. There we go. That's more like it. If you can, you know, slay an ostrich and get the egg in one fell swoop, then you're sitting pretty. If you just die outright, well, I don't need to tell you that that's a... You've done a terrible job. You know, in the world of competitive gaming and stuff, of course, speedrunning is arguably one of the most famous forms of it nowadays, but I gotta tell you, sometimes watching footage of like a high score being set on an old arcade game, it's real impressive. Like I'm sitting here being bad at this game, and I'm like, dude, I want to see like just like straight up, I want to see what the best run of this game ever is. Just because I don't know. Like I don't even know what it means to be that good at this game. So the egg, it was swallowed up by the lava, which is partially good, but you know, also if you're going for points, then that's tragic because you don't get the points for the egg. So you gotta decide. You're like, do you prioritize? See, going for it right there, that was bad. That was bad. Going for the points killed me. You actually spawn in last. That's interesting. Same thing right there. The lava pulled in that jouster. And as such, you do not get the points for it. So, maybe I am wrong about the pterodactyl. Maybe you just straight up die to them all the time. It's a little funky because the version of Joust I played actually the most was not the NES version. But there was a version, a slightly retooled version of it for the Amiga that I played a lot. And that was just a little different, you know? As most Amiga games were, you know, they tended to be retooled versions of classic games a lot of the time. A lot of them were freeware. Or at least, at least the ones I grew up with were. Didn't have a lot of commercial games for the Amiga. Robocod, Zool, that's about it. But dang, those were some good games. You don't... Nothing quite hits the same as a European platformer. The games where it's just like a graphical mess of just like completely mismatching sprites, and for points you just pick up like a billion collectibles that have little to any thematic cohesion, and you've played yourself a Euro platformer, man. We have survived. The pterodactyl will not kill us this day. Okay, the arena's getting a little bit deadlier now. Which, that's nothing new. We've seen that. So yeah, I think it's less about, oh, this is how you kill the pterodactyl in this version, and more, hey, this is how you just don't get it to spawn. Basically, don't dawdle. And try not to, you know, die to the other jousters, because that's just embarrassing. It's a difficult game, though. Believe me, these controls, they're incredibly floaty. If you have played Joust, you know. I don't need to tell you. Go ahead. You know, I'm fine without the points. I'd rather maintain the life than get just a few more points. Oh, that was the rudest thing I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Okay, come on. Yeah, I knew I could get right in there from behind. So have I made it? No, I have not made it to this wave yet. I've definitely not seen the eggs wave. Oh, I can't believe what you just had to witness there. That's really unfortunate. Yep. And there we go. That's the perfect time, though. See, great that we got here, because I was able to finally show how that works. And then I die promptly. At least we made it to the egg wave. You know, that's a very mild improvement. Joust is not a bad game. Not at all. It definitely feels older. I mean, I think you saw the copyright screen. I think it said like 1982, something like that. Obviously, you know, that predates the NES itself, so it's not like it was a fresh piece of software when it came out. Oh, come on, man. We got this. We got it. We're going to bounce all over the map, but we'll get it. 50 points for that egg, because it took us so long to get it. That's bad. Yeah. You've probably been able to distinguish at this point. You do get more points the quicker you get the egg. You don't want it to sit around forever. We also, you also don't want to dawdle because, you know, again, the pterodactyl, oh goodness me. So this attempt is kind of a wash, but nothing we've never seen with me playing arcade games before. Let's be real. Yeah, I think that's in terms of this series, the biggest issue with the arcade ports is terrible. They don't really justify the 60-minute price tag, you know? It's, like, these are pretty simple games. You play like 10 minutes of it, you get a pretty good idea of what you've got. I was considering actually doing like a kind of abridged series for the Atari 2600, because I was like, there's a lot of neat stuff to look at there, but you absolutely cannot justify like 60 minutes of Atari 2600 footage. None of those games can justify it, really. Come on, man. There. Shame I had to lose a life in the process, but you know, at least I made it past the wave. Jeez. There's one game like that for the NES that's coming up at some point too, where like I just straight up can't play it for 60 minutes. You could even argue that that Alex Kidd game didn't justify it, but actually, no, you know what? I say that perfectly justified it, because the object is to see how far you can get, and every now and then, if you beat a full game within the 60-minute time slot, hey, that's valuable information, right? I'm like, hey, if you were expecting an all-time epic game that'll take up all of your time, don't buy this one. That was catastrophic. That was almost just as catastrophic. Okay, we somehow salvaged points out of that here. Back in Wave 4, which has historically kicked me around and bullied me. Yep. Couldn't quite gain the altitude. What if I, like, turbo flap? That's actually kind of nice. The turbo button flapping might be something that I will have to consider. However, changing directions mid-air is still very difficult, and that doesn't matter if you have a turbo button or not. At least you gain altitude real quick with the turbo flap. This is the kind of episode where I'm like, do I upload this, man? This is embarrassing. No, I absolutely upload this. We don't hide from our failures on this channel here. So spawn camping appears to actually be a pretty good strategy. I just narrowly lost altitude on him. You have to be above them by like a pixel, and that's all it really takes, but sometimes it's difficult to be above that pixel. Oh boy. Terrible. Maybe, though, there is entertainment to be had in something bad. But yes, thank you for understanding that there had to be a couple-day gap there while I did social things that I had to do. Like I said, it was my brother's wedding, so congratulations to him. Saw a lot of old friends there that I haven't seen in, some of them, literally a decade, so that was real nice. Outside of that, the other day, I finally went out to eat at a restaurant for the first time in 15 months. I've been real careful to not catch the Rona, and it worked out. I'm fully vaccinated, didn't catch the Rona, didn't go outside, but me and my wife, we caught dinner in a movie the other day. We saw Cruella, which honestly, it was real good. You know, probably not like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece or anything like that, but it didn't have to be. It was very fun. Emma Stone put on a wonderful performance as Cruella. The costuming was immense. It was just a fun movie overall. And the first movie that we've seen in theater since 2019. We used to go to the movie theater like twice a week. I'm not even kidding you. Like it was a constant for us. And you know, as the movie industry starts to pick up again, maybe we'll consider that again. I'm gonna feel like a massive shill here, but seriously, if you enjoy movies, AMC A-List is like the most overpowered thing ever. If you even see 2 movies in a month, you have justified its existence. It's just nuts. Yo, why? I was gonna say, get out of here. I have beaten everyone that's here. This egg wave is going to be better than the last one. I have no proof. I have proof. Look at that. Made it past the egg wave. 1 less platform. So look at that. It does change up a little. I don't know if that's going to make it easier or hardier. That's the proper verbiage. Well, I didn't expect to lose that one there, but that's all because I bonked my head on the platform above, and now I'm just dying for no reason. That's fine. I don't need the snacks. Spawn camping, boy. Look at that. Just the power that you get when you spawn camp. It's insane, you know. I was gonna not go for it, and clearly I would have been better off not going for it, because now I have 0 lives left. There. That was a miserable display. Wave 8, though. None of them spawned over there. Oh no, the White Riders! I forgot about them. They're super fast. Okay, so we've made it far enough to see the more difficult enemy in the game. There could be enemies more difficult than that too. I don't know. I'm no expert here, but I am not the expert. If you've ever wondered why people who play sports games are so boring, watch Not the Expert, and you'll be like, oh, they're not all so boring. I don't wanna throw too much shade at the sports community of gamers, but boy, sometimes I'm like, oh, this could be fun. I'll watch this dude play Madden, and then it's like a Twitch stream or something. I watch it, and it's just like them getting really, really angry all the time, and I'm like, that's not fun. I don't enjoy that. Some people enjoy rage. I myself am no fan of it, quite honestly. I just find it uncomfortable. Especially since sports games streamers, they're always like streaming music alongside it, and it's always just far too loud. I don't know. Not the expert. He's a guy who gets it. He's got just genuinely entertaining, fun content, and he pretty much just plays sports games. But it's great. His NCAA series are spectacular. His other little mini-series and single attempt one-off videos are great. Shout out to Jerry Rice and Nidus Dog Football for the Wii. Terrible. Terrible attempt. Once more into the breach. Graphics, man. Graphics of Jerry Rice and Nidus Dog Football. Wish I didn't lose a life again. It's the one constant in this world. Look at that. Just a big pile of eggs and death. Ooh, thought I would have bumped my head and lost altitude on him, but we're fine. Okay, the floor is once again lava. In the most literal sense. We got one out of there immediately. You know, even if you can Even if you can get one out immediately, that's a boon to you. Oh boy, 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 boy. There we go. Good, good, good. Get out of here, pterodactyl. Come on. I wish it would just despawn immediately so that I didn't have to worry about that. But no. Well, I guess I didn't get the egg either, so that wouldn't have justified it despawning. Fair enough, game. It's not fair at all, actually. Arcade games aren't fair. If they were fair, people wouldn't make money off of them. That's one of the funniest things, I think, is like, for how uptight people get about microtransactions, and rightfully so in a lot of cases, but people get so mad about them as if it's like some big new thing that's ruining gaming. It's like, yo, that's like how gaming started, man. You paid per life. If that ain't a microtransaction, what is? Like, that was the norm. Ooh, boy, 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 boy. Come on. Oh, that's the white rider too. Okay. We made it. We still have 2 lives left, so that's something to be proud of, right? I'm glad I, got it into my head to do the spawn camp strategies, because that's effective. There we go. I lost some points on one of the eggs there, but, well, Oh. There's the strategy, I didn't pull it off, but I was there. White Rider's down. Forgot, you wrap around the screen. That was not safe, but... There you go, yeah. Just pull him down. I'm fine with that. Make him not my problem. Got the White Rider immediately. Outstanding work. He's not going to be a problem for me anymore. Good stuff there. He did not get pulled into the lava down there, but I was going to say, we got him anyway. Just got to avoid the pterodactyl now. Wave 9. Furthest I've made it. Oh, come on, man. There we go. He gained so much more altitude because he's so much faster than me. Come on. It's like I really feel like a kid in the 80s being oppressed by the arcade machine. And there you go. Eggs wave yet again. I know there's an egg up there that I have forgotten, but I would sooner get the ones down here, honestly. Did you see that pterodactyl just, like, spawn kill me? That seemed a little rude. That was going pretty well, and then... Well, I guess, it would have been going really well if I went into that stage with lives and not a big old 0 sitting there. So you got me there, but still, that felt a little corny, Excuse me, the term is cheesy. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. As I was saying, I don't claim to be like a massive proponent of microtransactions or anything like that, but at the same time, it's like, dude, it's the gaming industry's been nickel and diming you since the very, very beginning, because guess what? Keyword, industry. Every publisher exists to make money. And remember, publisher. The publishers are who make those decisions here, and the publishers do not create video games. It's always one of the misconceptions that I hear to this day. People are like, oh, EA hasn't made a good game in forever. It's like, yo, EA doesn't make games. They publish games. Criterion Games is the guy in the back of the kitchen who prepares the meat and puts it on the bun. And then EA is the waitress who gives you the burger that you ordered that Criterion made. But it's the waitress who gets the tips for it. The developer, the chef, just gets his base wage. I hope that that's a decent analogy. I'm either the analogy king or the analogy moron, depending on the day. But it seems right. That said, I've never worked in an authentic kitchen before. I've worked at McDonald's, which I know it is fine dining, so we got that out of the way. But no, I've never worked in a like sit-down restaurant before. Before you tell me that you can sit down at McDonald's. Yeah, okay, you got me. It's true. Get out of here, pterodactyl. Oh, no, no, no. That's the worst death I've had all game. It didn't look like I lost a life. But I had one, right? Okay, there's me. There's me. I see why it spawns you last, so you can't do the spawn killing. Bumping my head against the ceiling is like the #1 thing that kills me in this game, too. And it really is just myself that I have to blame for that. Once you die once, too, it's just like, hey, get ready to enter the bone zone, man, because you're done. Yep, there we go. I was kind of blindly attacking him from the wraparound there, so that was a poor strategy. Just a genuinely bad attempt there. Come on, make them all spawn up here. That wasn't even close. That was, absolutely intended. That I had intended to do the greatest move in Joust history right there. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Definitely not just accidental brilliance. That was calculated carefully and then followed up by absolute idiocy. Dude. Honestly, arcade games are stressful, dude. They're so just like by design frustrating sometimes. And again, I'm not here being like, I do not like Joust. It is bad because it is hard. No, it's just, it's just all arcade games have that same vibe to them where you're not supposed to do well. Obviously, any game you can become good at, but they have a high skill ceiling. That's why that's another thing that people say about modern gaming. They're like, games just aren't hard anymore, and I'm like, they're hard in different ways. Because like, if you look at arcade games as like being like, oh yeah, now that's a hard game, it's like, well, you're not wrong, but it's also hard for usually bad reasons. It's hard in ways that make you say, well, I didn't really stand a chance there, did I? I was kind of set up for disaster. Oh, come on there. That was my fault. See, stuff like that, that's on me. Joust, it's all skill-based, absolutely. But a lot of it is, figuring out how to wrangle the game's mechanics and systems to work in your favor. Like, the floatiness, obviously. The floatiness is absolutely a mechanic that can be finessed and can be figured out and mastered, but it'll absolutely take you many, many, many quarters of attempts to get it figured out. You're not gonna get into Joust and immediately be like, oh, this movement makes sense and I'm good at it. No, it's an ongoing effort, which is good. You know, it also makes it like rewarding when you do figure it out. But again, how many quarters you spend, that is the main that is the main drive behind that floatiness decision. There are much worse offenders, you are correct. Just like how if you're playing a bad video game, you could say, oh, there are much worse video games, and I'd say, yup. And games being worse doesn't make the bad one not bad. And again, not saying that about Joust. Put your pitchforks away. Actually, I don't know how beloved Joust is. I don't know if it's like an all-time hood classic, or I thought I could smash the bird on its way down into the lava. But again, it looks like I didn't lose a life there. Oh, why you gotta spawn me down on the way bottom, man? That's rude. I mean, obviously, Joust was liked well enough to get a full NES port back in the day. It's obviously showed up on arcade compilations since then. But, you know, it's not quite Asteroids tier. Not quite Pac-Man levels. Come on, man. Bad attempt. Again. I feel like I'm hitting that that minor regression period. It's certainly possible if that's what's going on. Takes a lot of guts to stay focused in an arcade game and continue performing at a high level, which I have yet to perform at a high level even once, so, you know, that's kind of a misnomer in a lot of ways, but it's okay. You just murk them right in the face. That's when it feels the best, you know. You just stab right through the ostrich. I was hoping for another one. I was hoping for just a satisfying string of insta-kills. Okay. We're gonna bobble around a little bit here. And I was gonna say, I'm not... Okay, the hand did plan on taking it all the way away. Brilliant news. We are able to get all the eggs. I know, just a brief moment of focus. I do apologize for it, you know. I try to blather on as much as I can here, keep things enticing to listen to here. I need more, like, topics in my head sometimes. I need to come pre-planned with some stuff I'm going to talk about for in case the game itself just becomes a little, not a drag, but, you know, just a little samey. You can only talk about the strategy of Joust when you're a low-level Joust player for so long. Until you're like, I gotta start talking about, like, my favorite types of donuts, you know? Which, by the way, jelly-filled, absolutely. Every now and then I'll get, like, a variety pack of donuts, and there will not be a single jelly-filled donut, and I'm like, what have you done? What is even the point of this? Why have you given me this box? Jelly-filled or death, man. You might say, oh, sounds like you like jelly more than you like donuts. And I'm like, you got it, you got it, man. You have absolutely cracked the code. And I'm not even being sarcastic. Yep. She don't use jelly, but I do. Wave 8 again. We're at 3 lives, man. That's pretty good. For me, like, that's monumental. Oh, I kept it low enough. How am I not dead? Oh, I got him. I beat him in the joust. That's why it's called Joust. And for the obvious reason that you all have lances and are riding mounts. Pull it down, save me, hand. Pull that burb down. He's gonna get away. Ah. That's... I didn't lose a life again. Why didn't I lose a life there? Because I was at 3 before. Outstanding start to the stage there. Just wonderful, honestly. Nah, not so wonderful, but... Come on. Just keep it. Keep it jousty. There we go. And this should be, yeah, the next egg, the next eggs wave. Which, if I can do this quickly, which missing that one up there is bad news. However, I did it. Okay. It was not so awful. This is the furthest that we've made it here. It's a new dawn for my Joust game. And, I'm pretty much gonna eat it here, right? Yep. We made it to a new high, and then we immediately just got murked. It happens. But at least progression happened as well. Blessed Wave 1. Nice and simple. I shouldn't say that too loud because, you know, I've been known to die on Wave 1. And it's just kind of generally awful. I thought I could have maybe, you know, snuck in a little bit of altitude there and won that one, but no. Instead, I'm here losing a life on Wave 2 like a chump. It's the exact thing that you want to avoid. And I'm here just reveling in it, man. I got told once that I reveled in my own ignorance. And, you know, that offended me because in the exact same thread that I was told that I reveled in my ignorance, I had literally said I was wrong about this. That one offended me. I was like, yo, I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me that I'm wrong here. But if I then admit that I'm wrong and you're like, wow, you just love being wrong. I'm like, or you're proud to be wrong. I'm like, dude, maybe if I were like, no, man, I haven't done anything wrong, that would be different, but... No, if a person admits that they are wrong about something, don't tell them that they revel in ignorance. That's just rude. Like, what are you talking about, man? Is that person living rent-free in my head because I'm bringing them up, like, months after the fact here while I'm playing Joust for the NES? I don't know, maybe. I just thought it was, kind of an odd, choice of words, you know? After a person admits, oh, wow, hey, I didn't know that. I'll try to be better next time. Oh, wow, yeah, you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you woke up in the morning feeling dangerous because you didn't know that. I'm like... You got me, dude. You got me. That's me. Spawn some here, please. Dude, what? I'm getting robbed here. Look at these abysmal spawns. Oh, defeated the White Rider, though. call him the Pale Rider because it sounds more mysterious. And then I die. You knew that's what this episode was gonna be. You'll be dying repeatedly. This is not gonna be one of the highest viewed videos. None of them are, but you know, we do see some variance. I've got some videos that have they've actually accumulated a couple hundred views. Now I'm not gonna say that people have watched all 60 minutes of them. No, they probably clicked it, watched for like 2 minutes, and said this is boring, and then got out. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I'm guilty of it. Ooh, the spawns. What is going on here? How am I supposed to spawn kill if you won't spawn them near me? But some other videos, they've been up for like a year, and it's like, yeah, you got like 7 views. I'm like, well, dang, that game certainly doesn't get the blood pumping in anyone, obviously. The Master System videos tend to do better than the NES videos. And obviously that's because the Master System is a wildly unpopular system. At least in the US. So, you know, people are like, ooh, Master System, poggers, I don't know what this is all about. And then they watch it, it's like, oh, I see, it's just a bunch of very thick outlines. I'm like, yes, now you've got it. That's the Master System. Want to make a Master System game? Don't include a continue function. Make very thick outlines in all of your sprites. And put the pause button on the system itself. I will say, that's the nice part about emulating the Master System, is I can actually pause from the controller. That's something you can't do with the actual hardware. Just wrecked that time. Man. And then, of course, everybody and their dog has surveyed the NES. There are no surprises here. Until we play stuff like Bandit Kings of Ancient China, and people will be like, ooh, what's this? This is even more boring. I'll say, yeah, man, that's what we're here for. So this is just a forfeit, you know. I'm gonna just end this run because that was a terrible start. Yeah, that's a mulligan. We start that one over. Yeah, that's okay. There we go. That feels a little bit better. The spawns have not been favorable. It's been kind of a drag. Oh, beat me there. Ah, he beat me there again. No. A decent wave followed by just the worst pinball death wave that you've ever seen. Pinball death, yes, it's a nerdcore napalm death cover band. If it sounds insufferable, that's because it is. Not gonna lie, I do not get into like nerdcore stuff or stuff like that. Stuff that just like revels in nerd culture. I'm like, yo, I'm into all of it, but I don't need to base my entire identity around it. I hope you understand. It's okay to enjoy music that doesn't say video games, am I right? But then there are people who are like, I only listen to Nightcore and the Minecraft soundtrack. I'm like, that's okay. What, like you tried other hobbies? So there I was, trying to destroy that last ostrich, and then the pterodactyl just, you know, came in my face. And phrasing. Abysmal phrasing right there. The pterodactyl appeared before my very eyes and smote me down. There. That's superior phrasing. Absolutely. None of what I was, you know, saying before. That was the worst possible way to go about that sentence. Now that's the kind of spawn power that I'm looking for, you know, when they come in and they say, when they arrive and die. Oh, thank you for giving me the Pale Rider right there, you know. Just a perfect bounce extravaganza right there. And then they're like, ooh, I want to get that rider. And I'm like, ooh, that's really too bad for you. Wave 8. Been a while since I've seen this wave. Can you believe not a single bird spawned at the one I was hovering over? I mean, you gotta believe it because you just witnessed it with me live in 4K. This is not 4K. This is like 720p recording. Gotta save on hard drive space somehow, you know? I gotta make some sacrifices here and there. I don't want to upload like 17 gigabyte files of NES footage. 720 will do fine. These games weren't even in high def when they came out, you know? Why am I still trying to spawn camp that spawner when everybody is spawned? Good question. I have no answer. Yeah. See, a lesser man would have instantly gone for the egg, but I am peak Joust player. I am peak Joust player. That's the verbiage I chose, and that's the verbiage I stand by. Come on, give me some spawns up here, man. Just spawn all of them up here. Why, there's one, there's two. Honestly, I can live with two. It's when you get like 0. That's when I say, questionable move there, game. I disagree with your spawn placement, but I hope we can still be friends despite all that. 1, 2, 3, 4! Oh, incredible. I was gonna say, don't lose a life now. Not after that incredible boon. Nah. Not worth going for. Not worth going for even remotely. Okay. We start up here. We're getting there a little slowly, but you know, and then we, yeah. And then we just speed run it. Turn around. Get the momentum. There you go. That's the egg wave. You can't go wrong if you just follow the strats. We're up to 5 lives now, presumably because, you know, we got an extra life from bonus stuff. Maybe that's what's been happening. I'm like, I didn't lose a life when I died there. It's like, nah, you did, man. Come on. You need some iframes when you respawn there, because that's just rude. See, I went from 5 to 3 for no good reason. I'm offended. I can pretend that I'm not, but there's no sense in lying to myself. It is just very rude. I mean, I guess I spawn kill the game all the time, so the game spawn killing me is really just turnabout. It's fair play, whatever they say. So it looks like every 20,000 points you get an extra life, probably. If I'm wrong about that, well, I'll get over it. But that's the impression that I get. You know, that was the best song in our pep band folder when I was in high school. The impression that I get, me and a couple other of my classmates, we were like, director, impression that I get, pull it out, man. And he didn't have a choice. We were like, no. It's impression that I get, man. It's time for that. Mostly just because I played flute and it was like the most fun song to play on flute. The most incredible part about me playing flute is that I didn't get bullied for it, actually. I had the jocks kind of pogging up when I was there playing my flute. What happened? That was a riderless ostrich, and then I got the egg, and then he just magically got a rider on him? That is an immense party foul, and I am upset. Undeniably upset by that. That's disgusting. Putting that one egg like right on the lip of that platform is honestly more dastardly than you would think. There's one. There's two. It's just two. I'll live with it. I can make it work. Last time I got to the stage, I got obliterated like instantly. It's such a fast pterodactyl spawn. It gives you like no time. It's like, ooh, you didn't kill everybody else in like literally 8 seconds, so we're gonna have to sick the dogs on you. Sorry. Yeah, don't go for the egg. Going for the egg is questionable strats there. Okay, I only got like 2 at that spawner, but it feels like more because that one dude just kind of came down and allowed me to murder him without much gusto. Let me guess, pterodactyl right now. Pterodactyl right now. Yeah, I knew it would be there. I knew it wasn't gonna give me any time. Say, you gonna pull him down in there, or do I have to get him? Clearly, I have to get him. But that's fine. Wave 13. You know, whatever happens. Again, the furthest I've made it. Okay, so what happened? It gave me 1 birdo at the spawn I was at, and then I died. Still, again, improvement. You play a game enough, even if it's just like 51 minutes, which that was. You'll eventually get better at it. Insubordinate right there. Hey, you want 0 birds at your spawner? I'm like, hey, that's the opposite of what I asked for, man. You considered being not so big of a jerk. So let's try this. Let's try this spawner then, right? Let's see if this is where they're all gonna pop out of. Well, 1 popped out of there, so you know, that's a 25% success rate. You gotta learn to draw a line in the sand and accept that you're not gonna get a perfect record. Ever. Did they spawn down here? Can I like... I believe they do. I mean, it gave me plenty of time to go up to the top one and hover over that one. Oh, but look at that. 2? That's worth it, man. The only downside to that is that I then have to travel upwards with other ostriches raining death down upon me. Like that. Just like that. Beautiful. Dead and forgotten. Come on. Turn! Change directions in midair! Don't bonk against the platform. Too late. Already did. It's the turning around in midair. That's definitely the hardest thing to do in this game. You almost gotta like not count on being able to do it and instead like say, okay, what's my contingency plan for when I inevitably fail to do so? Yikes. Okay, well, you know, I'm alive. Eggs wave. Yeah, don't be down there. That's a bad place to be for the eggs wave. Did you see that shit? Just. That's all I can say is just. Although we did get like 80% of all the birds spawning at that spawner, so. Is it worth losing the life? I don't know. Maybe I would have lost 2 lives if they didn't spawn. If they didn't spawn at that spawner. It's certainly possible. But I would only be able to know that with hindsight. I don't have 20/20 hindsight vision. Yo, what about that line in Megadeth's Sweating Bullets when he's like, hindsight is always 20/20, but looking back, it's still a bit fuzzy. It's like, well, which is it, man? Is it 20/20 or is it not? You know? It just seems like you're kind of contradicting yourself for no good reason, man. To this day, I cannot decide if I think that that's a good song or a terrible song. It's so corny. Not as corny as like 1,000 Ways to Say, like 1,000 Ways Goodbye or whatever it's called. The one where it's like voicemails from his ex the entire time. Dude, I should have spawn camped the bottom one. That would have been incredible. Instead, I'm dead. Only a few more minutes left to go, though. We're getting there. Yo, what has happened? What was that? Oh, no. What is this wave 1 shenanigans? What is going on? Dude. Blue Riders? Have I accidentally, like, activated hard mode or something like that? It's like, hey, the eggs are just gonna instantly hatch into the most powerful superhumans you've ever seen. Dude, what? What is happening? I am so confused right now. It genuinely feels like it's like some kind of super secret hard mode that I didn't know about. This, I'm nervous. I'm extremely nervous right now. Oh, yeah. Get up here, man. Get up here. That's the wrong choice. Stop. Thank you. What is happening? That one didn't... That one did pretty much immediately spawn, actually. Get out of here. Burn in hell, man. I'm gonna have to look this up after this video's over, because I don't know why suddenly the parameters have changed. The game's like, I have altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. The game just wanted to get into some prequel memes. I was like, why though? Dude, I don't know what's going on. This is absolute madness. The ostriches, they won't leave. There are no eggs, man. There's no... Oh, God. No. The eggs wave. It's too much. I have absolutely no idea what happened there. I'm not gonna start another run though, because that's so close to the ending. I'll just waste some time with words because I can. So yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't know why the eggs kept hatching immediately. Did I accidentally initiate some like hard mode or something like that? Some extra mode? I don't know. Oh, look, I didn't even see the menu. So now you'll get to see the directions at the very end here. The highest lance wins. Well, yes, we knew that in a collision. If there's going to be like some super secret thing that I had to know here, then I'm going to be not even upset because it was all my own fault. Meet thy enemies. Oh, the bound. Oh, they have names. Okay, Bounder, Hunter, Shadow Lord. That's the greatest name ever. Temporary safety. Until control. Oh, okay, so you do get iframes, but the second you move or flap, okay. The unbeatable question mark pterodactyl. So there is a way to beat it. Well, that's the instructions, but I knew pretty much everything there, except for the iframes. Maybe that would have been good to know, but either way, that is Joust. Like I said, you know, it's an arcade game. They all kind of wind up the same like that. You know, hey, do basically the same thing, but more difficult as time goes on, and then lose all your money. Fortunately, though, with home conversions, money's no longer an issue. Either way, I hope you enjoyed Joust. It was something. Tomorrow's episode, we're going back to the Sega Master System for another Fantasy Zone game, but this is not a typical Fantasy Zone. It is going to be Fantasy Zone: The Maze. I assume that it's like a Pac-Man clone. It's just from the name. I don't know. I could be wrong. Either way, though, thank you as always for watching. If you made it this far, you're a bold, bold soul, and I salute you. We will catch you next time.